On this edition of Penn State Access Granted, we'll get inside the mind of a goalie and join men's volleyball as they go on their trip to Hawaii for the Outrigger Invitational. And the first African-American to letter in football, Wally Triplett talks about his days as a Nittany Lion.
Penn State was, as some parts of the country were doing, was changing.
In celebration of Black History Month, Penn State is sponsoring a series of discussions entitled Breaking Barriers, the Legacy of African American Athletes at Penn State. This university has a long history of pursuing equal rights for its students and the university community. Before the civil rights movement of the late 1950s and 60s, there was a generation of student athletes at Penn State who took a stand and made a difference. Wally Triplett was the first African American to letter in football at Penn State from 1946 to 1948. In 1946, the Nittany Lions were scheduled to play a game in Miami at the Orange Bowl. Because segregation was a way of life in this country, especially in the South during this time, Triplett and teammate Denny Hoggard were asked to stay home by the Hurricanes and not play in the game. Only the white players were invited to make the trip to Miami, but Penn State took a stand.
That was the accepted thing. And so when it came time for the Penn Staters to look and the campus and the feeling on the campus and the feeling of the ballparks was that if we all don't play, none of us play. And so that was the spirit that caught on.
2 years later, Wally and his Nittany Lion teammates integrated the 1948 Cotton Bowl and forever changed the face of college football with their 13-13 tie against SMU. Wally scored the game-tying touchdown.
That spirit spilled over, and it has carried on.
Wally Triplett shared his story with current Penn State students and student athletes as part of Penn State's Breaking Barriers series. He talked about his time in Happy Valley, the trip to the Cotton Bowl, and on being the first African American to be formally drafted by the National Football League.
This was the kind of spirit that was evident in the sports in the 1940s.
Wally Triplett and others from his generation were true pioneers and helped to put Penn State in the forefront of equal opportunity.
The whole country was different, and that was the thing that Penn State portrayed when it brought in athletes, or brought in students to play. It treated them right. It did treat them right, and I don't think Penn State's been given the credit that it deserves, but it's important to me that these kids get to understand what did go on so that they can appreciate what they now have.
My name is Alyssa Nair. I'm a junior goalkeeper. Favorite food is probably steak and mashed potatoes. Favorite book, The Kite Runner. Favorite movie, Man on Fire. Funniest person on the soccer team is Katie Shepard. Also gonna have to go with Katie Shepard. It's the hardest person to stop. Favorite memory at Penn State, probably the Hofstra game, second round NCAA tournament my sophomore year. Playing on Jeffrey, the home field, there's nothing like it in the country. It's one of the best facilities that there is.
For the fifth time in school history and the second time in 4 seasons, the Penn State field hockey team won the Big Ten championship. The Nittany Lions played a very tough non-conference schedule and went 8-4. When the Big Ten season rolled around, they were mentally tough. Penn State went 5-1 in the Big Ten, including a dramatic 2-1 win over Iowa in late October to clinch the title. Penn State returned 7 starters for the 2009 season. Coming up, we'll get to know more about Alyssa Nair and her fellow Nittany Lion goalies as we go inside their world. We'll also find out how the softball team trains despite the snow. Goalie Alyssa Nair played on the U.S. Under-20 national team that won the World Cup this fall. She was awarded the Golden Glove. She was also named first-team All-American at the same time while playing for Penn State. So, what are some of the differences in the level of play?
On the national level, everything is a lot faster and a lot hard, like the shots are coming at you a lot harder. They will be more deceptive, harder to read different forwards, and they're more crafty.
What kind of advantage does she try to get against an attacker?
I like to think that I have a little bit of an advantage. I like to try to, bait them to go a certain direction, but I guess at the end of the day, they know where they're going to put the ball, so just have to react a little bit. But I think it's a little bit of both, depending on who that one player is. It kind of slows down a lot. It seems like it's going in slow motion a little bit, and just trying to read their body language and just try to give myself the best opportunity to make a save of it.
When you take all of that abuse and you're the one that stops it,
Totally worth it.
Alyssa isn't the only goalie at Penn State. Others also have to have that valuable job. So, do you have to be a little crazy?
Honestly, we're 100% crazy. You gotta be a crazy to play this position. You got shots coming at you, how fast, people coming at you. You gotta hit people, you have to be crazy.
I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm crazy, but definitely unique. Being a goalie, getting nailed with hard rubber balls flying at you at very high speed is probably not something people would sign themselves up for.
I think it kind of takes a certain breed to be a goalie. I like to think that I'm pretty level-headed for the most part, but you definitely have to have that little bit of extra oomph, or whatever you want to call it, to step in there and take shots from players.
When you know you're going to be there and your job is to stop everything, it takes a lot of mental preparation.
Before practice and before a game, I have to be extremely calm because it's not like I can stand there any harder. I have to be very calm and really technically sound, so I concentrate on just feeling fluent, and I can't get overexcited in my warm-up.
No hesitation. As soon as I see a spot to attack them, I gotta be on them like nothing else. So, there's not a lot. It's a lot of concentration. It's all about my position is concentration.
No matter if it's a shot from 10 yards away or if it's a shot from 3 yards away, my focus and mentality is the same thing.
If the ball doesn't go past me, then the team has a chance to win the games.
So, what kind of physical skills does it take to be a goalie?
You gotta use agility, you gotta use speed, you gotta use strength, coming off and cutting off angles, being able to read the play before it happens, all these things.
I think that in order for me to be the best, I just have to react. So when I see someone running at me at full speed with their really scary game face on, I'm just standing there and I'm just concentrating on moving, reacting, but I'm not necessarily thinking.
The more relaxed I am, I feel like the more comfortable my defense will be. If I'm comfortable, then I feel like the people in front of me will relax too.
There's also something special about being in the zone as they're approaching you, knowing that you're the last line of defense.
All athletes and goalies, you can kind of get in a zone sometimes, and when you're really feeling it, everything slows down for you. And, I think that's the same thing for a lacrosse goalie. I think sometimes the ball just seems like it's a beach ball, or it's coming a little bit slower that day.
To an extent, it does slow down a little bit because, you understand as the play's going on that it's just you and him.
When somebody's running at me, especially when I'm in the zone, it is a little bit of a slow motion, and at the same time though, it happens so quickly, and I'm almost just as surprised as the audience is when I have a ball in my stick.
Being a goalie is a very physical position.
You get beaten up a little bit. During games and stuff, you don't really feel like you're focused on just saving the shots, keeping the ball up. Definitely after practices and after games, the hips, the knees, the upper body's pretty sore.
You get used to it for the most part. Every now and then you'll take a shot that'll leave a stinger for a couple days, and it's just part of the game. It's not something you think about when you're playing. If it happens, it happens.
We've heard that taking the abuse is eventually worth it. Do they feel it?
I'm not gonna lie, it does hurt, but in a game, it's the best feeling in the world because you know you stopped the ball.
Just as long as the ball doesn't go past me, I'm generally happy about it, so I don't really worry about the pain.
Every now and then you'll get one that you stop and it still hurts for a little bit, but it's definitely a good feeling to know that even if you got hit, the ball didn't go in and you did your job.
So Drew, do you think you could score on me?
I don't think so, Steph. I hear you're pretty good. You
Yeah.
think you could score on me?
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
see how it is. I see how it is.
What has been your best lacrosse moment? Game, life game?
I don't know. I've had a lot of good games over the years and a lot of good moments, but I think on a lighthearted note, probably 5th or 6th grade, I had a great game in junior league lacrosse, and I think that kind of set the groundwork for me playing at Penn State a couple years later. How about yourself?
I think my best game was my my junior year, I played out of my mind. I think I had like 20-some saves and like went in double overtime. It was crazy. And I had like 3 or 4 saves in double overtime and took my junior state championship.
Awesome. It wasn't against Springfield, was it?
No. Boom. What's the best part of being an athlete at Penn State?
I don't know, Steph. That's pretty tough. I think there's a lot of great things about it, but I would definitely say the family camaraderie that goes along with it. It's a tight-knit community of Penn State athletes. It's something I'm really happy to be a part of. How about you?
Pretty good answer.
I know, that was good, wasn't
I
it?
could just say ditto.
Here in Happy Valley, it's cold all winter long. How does the baseball team train? We're here at Medler Field to check it out. That's coming up next. Hey, Mike, so we're hanging out here in the batting cage area. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do here.
Well, this is where most of our practice is done, actually, because we can't get outside in the winter.
What's your favorite thing about playing here at Medler Field?
Facilities. This batting cage, we have some of the best facilities in the nation.
Have you found any place that has a real good, authentic kind of?
Clem's.
Yeah.
Big barbecue. Clem's barbecue is definitely one of the top barbecue places around here.
Yeah. So somewhere you go year round, just in the summer, more in the spring.
Whenever I can get Clem's, I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like a warm weather thing. We'll go to Clem's, buy a pound, 2 pounds of barbecue, bring it home, sit on the porch just like we do at home, eat some barbecue. We're not at practice, it's just chill time. Rest, sit on our couch watching TV.
Classic questions. What's your favorite creamery ice cream? You do the creamery.
I'm very simple. Like I'm
Yeah.
just mint chocolate chip is probably my favorite.
Street.
I haven't gotten into the peachy paterno or any of those, but I'm a very plain, simple kind of guy. I don't venture out of my
The comfort
habits,
zone.
yeah, too much.
Okay, so when you're not on the field, you're not working out, not in class, what are some of the things you like to do?
Well, you said ping pong's one of them. We actually have a ping pong table here that we play a lot. Other than that, it's ping pong and Mario Kart.
In between practice, hanging out, playing ping pong, who's your biggest competition?
Oh man, that'd be Dave Lutz. He gives me some fits sometimes. Other than that, some of our teammates that we watch them play, I pretty much own every one of them.
All right, you seem like you're pretty confident in your abilities. Want to go take a swing at it?
It's your funeral.
Yeah. All right, Mike, you ready to try your skills with this?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Not quite my forte, this ping pong thing.
I'm pretty tough on you right now.
You think so?
I think you can handle Lutz.
So do you guys gang up on any of the freshmen or anything like that when they come in? Is that like an initiation thing?
I think they do. So they'll play us and we'll skunk them. And if you don't know the rules of ping pong, a skunk is if I get 7 points in a row on you, that you get the point on me.
Which probably just happened.
That would be game.
That would be it.
7-0 and 11-1. Any of those scores are reached, the game's over. That just means you're getting beat so bad that it's probably shouldn't be playing ping pong.
The Nittany Lions softball team is starting the season on the road, going to warmer climates. But to get ready to go to those warmer climates and get underway, they have to practice. With it so cold out, you obviously have to practice inside, so that would bring with it restrictions, right?
There's no difference between practicing inside and outside other than you're not on dirt, because we don't have the dirt, but they can get the fly balls, they can get the reps, they can get everything they need. They just aren't on the dirt yet and out with the grass. So practice, you get everything done that you need to get done. We would do the same things outside that we're doing inside. We're just doing them inside because we can't get outside yet.
We'd probably just be getting a little bit of more dirt on our practice uniforms. Our shoes stay really clean inside. So the first time we go out in the dirt, we'll make sure to dirty up our cleats.
This may be a northern team, but with Penn State's facilities, they make it very easy to compete because they know they have great facilities indoors.
When I was coming to college, I just thought it was really cool because I've never trained inside, and so it didn't really have an effect on me. I just thought it was different and neat and winter and snow, and I just thought that was really cool.
Coming from the West Coast, I wanted to change a pace. Playing inside is definitely different, but it's really nice to have the facilities we have here. I think that we definitely benefit from them and have an advantage with all the great things we have.
They do a lot of work inside. Haluba's very high with the roof so they can hit the ball in there, and the multi-sport is very deep. You can hit the ball a long way.
Well, we have 2 of them, and a lot of schools just practice on gyms, or they have one facility like this, but with Baluba, 2 football fields side by side, we can hit away and get our outfielders all the work they need. And then in here we can set up our infield and get double infields, lots of batting practice, so it'll work out great for us.
So what is the day in and day out grind of softball practice indoors?
It's exhausting because all we do is a lot of footwork, running, but we get down to the nitty-gritty what we really need to focus on as an individual so we can help our team.
We come in here, we warm up, we hit in the cages come down from the ceiling, and we throw, we set up a field, we scrimmage, we play, we hit grounders, fly balls, I mean everything that you do outside.
Pitching inside, it's nice we can throw distance because the facilities are really big. We have like makeshift mounds that our coaches made that have like turf and they have mounds on them, and it's really nice. We can practice with a real mound instead of just throwing on the turf.
We split the groups, send the pitchers over to get warmed up so we have the pitchers ready to go to do whatever we need them to do. And once the infield and outfielders have gone through some basic routine stuff, then we'll bring the team together and we'll do either team drills or we'll break down into hitting so we can get everything done that we need to do before we get out and play.
You were the one that made the play at second. Stay at second.
Coming up, the defending national champion Penn State men's volleyball team takes us on a trip to Hawaii and the Outrigger Classic. After back-to-back national championships and a 38-0 season, you can argue that Penn State is the greatest collegiate women's volleyball team in the history of the sport. Russ Rose had 6 All-Americans to work with this season. The numbers were staggering, including a streak of winning 111 straight sets. That streak was broken in the national semifinals against Nebraska. Penn State jumped out and won the opening 2 sets, but the Huskers won the next 2 sets to force a 5th and deciding set. There, Penn State showed its championship heart, closing out the 5th set on a 7-1 run. For the 2nd straight season, Stanford was across the net in the final. Penn State showed its balance, but in the end, Megan Hodge had the big swings. When it was finished, Penn State had a record of 115-2 in sets and an overall match record of 38-0, back-to-back national championships. So the question is, are they the best ever? The case is strong.
What is your favorite gym to play in besides Rec Hall?
Hawaii's nice. You got that sea level. You play at that lower altitude. You got that advantage.
It's true.
Hawaii for the sea level. I'm going with Hawaii for the sea level.
I like that answer.
Stan Sheriff Center.
When you're the defending national champions, everyone wants to play you, including teams at the Outrigger Classic in Hawaii. It's a real grind. First of all, you have to arrive in Hawaii, and then, of course, you have to get acquainted with the pool.
I'm working hard.
Now that everyone's acquainted with the pool, you have to find out what the beach is like in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
This is a dream. What do you say, Torch?
That's what I said.
Did that say anything?
I don't know. No clue. Thunder. This is Michael Phelps' long-lost brother, Mark Phelps. And there he goes, off to his home, the water.
But because you're playing, you do have to practice as well. So day 1 was the pool, day 2 was the beach, day 3, well, let's check out the cliffs, including some amateur spelunking.
I got it.
And then there is more practice. When it's finally time to get down to business, by the way, the Nittany Lions knocked off USC, Ohio State, and then host Hawaii to take the Outrigger crown. In men's volleyball, there is a special relationship between the libero, the defensive leader, and the setter. It is unique, and for Penn State men's volleyball, it is something else.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
All good, man. What's your name?
Dennis, what's your name?
Edgardo, go on.
Nice to meet you.
Where you from?
I'm from Puerto Rico. What about you?
Really? I'm from Puerto Rico too.
No way.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Where you were born?
I was born in San Juan. What about you?
Oh, really? I was born too. in San
No,
Juan.
no, you're kidding.
When's your birthday?
Mine is on January 27.
Oh, really?
What about you?
Mine too, January 27th.
Wow, that's cool.
What year?
89.
Wow, mine too.
Oh my goodness.
So you play volleyball?
Yeah, I play volleyball. I'm a libero. What about you?
Oh, really? I'm a setter.
Oh, that's cool.
So are you in the national team?
Yeah, I'm the libero from the national team.
Oh, really? I'm the setter for the national team.
No way.
Nice.
That's
so,
funny.
Are you in the men's volleyball team in Penn State?
Yeah. This is my second year. I'm a sophomore. What about you?
I'm a sophomore too.
Oh, yeah. Oh. How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
Yeah, I'm not.
Coming up on the next Penn State Access Wave, learn the basics about the backhand from the Nittany Lion tennis team. And we'll get inside the clubhouse with the baseball team. And find out what it takes to excel as a student and an athlete.
A copy of the program you've just seen can be purchased through Penn State Media Sales at mediasales.psu.edu or by calling 800-770-2111.